Welcome, welcome back, friends. Mike did us the honor of reading Psalm 118 in its entirety. And so let's take a look at some initial responses. In the RSV, it's subtitled A Song of Victory. And I would see, I have to add it, A Song of Victory of Resurrection. So my initial response is that the Lord is good. How Jesus must have felt reciting this psalm shortly before his betrayal, torture, execution, and resurrection by both the ecclesial, and Jesus had very harsh words for them. He knew their treachery, and secular authorities. So why is the Lord good? Why did that keep resonating in my mind? Because his mercy endures forever. Out of distress, the Lord answered and sets free. All of the nations surrounded me. Note the opening remarks. In the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth, and I cut them off. So we can see that, he is, they cut him off. They cut him off when they surrounded him. When I was falling, the Lord helped me. I shall not die, but I shall live and recount the deeds of the Lord. I have not been given over to death. He, the Lord, answers his prayer and become his salvation, the Lord's salvation to him. And so the Lord has given us light. So a restatement could be, the Lord is good because his mercy endures forever. Jesus was vindicated, but not in the way expected by the ancient Near East Jews.
Right. Yeah, I love it. I think it's so cool, just the repetition that's in this one, because it does sort of feel like a song in some ways, but the poetry of it in that simple sense of just repeating the main point, to really like remind in all of this, we've seen the goodness of God, the deliverance of God, and it's further proof of his forever enduring love, and I just love that it comes back to that concept of, even though you can remember being disciplined severely and being surrounded by your enemies and the whole world being against you, the love of God is still enduring, and it's just such a encouragement to me for different times I'm thinking of where life feels like it's sort of falling apart. And I feel like in the last 2 years, that's felt like a common occurrence, sort of, even just with even this year with all of the new shootings and different things that have been going on, and like the attack on the church in Nigeria and different things, where this feels so pertinent, a reminder that even though amidst all this pain, it seems dark and hopeless, his steadfast love endures forever.
That's true. That's very good. Thank you. Thank you. So when I, as a second movement towards study, I have found that that this little Scofield Bible, and I keep it in the box because I have one and it keeps it clean, is really, really nice with how Dr. Scofield put his text within his commentary, yes, and his beautiful notes. And I think one of the things that Dr. Scofield shows us is that we need to read sacred scripture as a whole. So concepts and ideas that we see in one part of scripture, it's really a wonderful thing to go look at other parts and see how that's expressed, to make sure we're staying on the right track, right? Yeah. So it's a good way to have an objective measure of our work. So verse 4, and I think, let those who fear the Lord say, his steadfast love endures forever. So in Psalms 19:9, we see the fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. Verse 6, The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do to me? Hebrews, and he'll feel free to use also from New Testament, Hebrews 13:6, so that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. Verse 11, they surrounded me on every side. In the name of the Lord, I cut them off. Psalm 88:17. They came round about me daily like water. They compassed me about altogether. Verse 12, they surrounded me like bees. They went out like a fire among thorns. In the name of the Lord, I cut them off. Deuteronomy 1:44. And the Amorites which dwelt in that mountain came out against you and chased you as bees do, and destroyed you in Seir, even unto Hormah. Do you have any thoughts there?
Yeah, well, I love that
verse by verse.
you're reading the connections, because I think, like so many times reading the Bible, you don't even realize what's being referenced back to, or what story is being referred to by repeating the same line or same idea. And that's something that's so beautiful just about Hebrew poetry in general, is all the symbolism and what different things would mean, and how you can see it in multiple places throughout the Bible, Old and New Testament. And then, so I love the idea of reading all of Scripture as a whole to really see those connections and get everything together. But I love also just to think of that he says, is on my side is my helper, and I shall look in triumph on those who hate me. Makes me think of how everybody's talking about having haters, and like haters love me, or I love my haters, as a way to like celebrate being in triumph, or like if somebody hates you, it means you're doing something right, kind of.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just kind of a funny correlation to like modern culture.
Correct. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. But I also just love that he says, become my salvation. I thank you that you have answered me and have become my salvation. Just in thinking of Jesus becoming like us and coming down to really bring salvation to us by becoming one of us, and sharing that flesh of humanity and the pain that's attached to it as a way to really save us,
That's correct. That is correct. So I will keep the full commentary here, but perhaps in the interest of moving along, and maybe we'll pick it up. You brought up the resurrection, and he has become our salvation. Mm-hmm. So we see in verse 17 this curious statement: I shall not die, but I shall live and recount the deeds of the Lord. Psalm 6:5, for in death there is no remembrance of thee. In the grave, who shall give thanks? And Habakkuk 1:2, O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear, even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. So we see this allusion even within Psalms in the supporting text there of the concept of the resurrection.
I think I missed that verse when I read it. Verse 17. I think I
was reading along. I don't think. Well,
I can't remember.
Well,
I'd read the whole thing again too, but I think because I messed up, because valiantly had a hyphen in it, and then I feel like I jumped to the Lord has disciplined me severely, but I could just be in my head.
Well, you know what, my friends, we're gonna retape it.
Yeah.
At the end, just to make sure we give you
That's perfect.
The right.
I'm sorry about that.
God forbid we short you one, but right. As always, reading along. But maybe in my, sometimes think we hear things and we
Right.
always do it. So thank you for that. Thank
Of
you.
course. Sorry.
Sure. All right, my friends, we're going to pick up. We're going to continue on with a few more references to other parts of Scripture, but the entirety of it is in here in the notes for you if you care to look at it. Till then, my friends, fides et ratio.